So hello everybody, welcome back. So I wanted to talk to you right now about EDTIS and EMOLOGIC, which is, these are two concepts that I created several months and years ago. But I have been using this one quite frequently in my videos. And this one I used to put in a blog that I used to have. I don't know if I dismantled that thing. But anyway, point being that, this thing, I haven't talked to you in the videos about this concept as much as the other ones. But I'm going to try to do my best to try to explain to you certain things. So during hard times, you will always face EDTIS. Okay, it doesn't matter where you are or, what you do or your gender or whatever, or if you're in a group or alone or whatever, you will always find yourself with EDTIS, even in good times. Because you will always have everyday threats and inconveniences. Depending upon where you are, the threats will be different. And depending upon, your preferences, you will have certain inconveniences that are, obviously, those depend upon your ability to handle certain kinds of things. So let me explain this concept a little bit. But before I do, I wanted to remind you that down below is my email in case that you want to help me out by sending an Amazon gift card. So thank you very much. I really appreciate it. My channel is not monetized or anything like that. So, I do appreciate any kind of help that I can get. So I have a PayPal account now, and I also have some books in Gumroad, and I would like to know what you think about them. And anyway, so if you're breathing, you have, a life that will have threats, because environments will always have threats. The level of threats in your place will depend upon the environment per se. So it can be very, very, very low, or it can be very, very, very high. The threats in Syria, for example, are very, very, very high because, of course, that place is at war. But the threats that you may face, in the middle of, let's say, a town, in the middle of nowhere in Europe, the threats there are going to probably be low. However, there are always threats. So, like I said, the list of your threats can also be natural and it can be man-made. So they will depend upon, again, your environment. It's an outside thing. You can't do anything about that one except for prepare, and that is a very big maybe. Because there are things that there is no way in hell that you can prepare for. So the other one is inconveniences, and that one will depend upon the environment a little bit, but it will also depend upon your reaction to a particular problem. Because some people can turn a problem into an opportunity. So an inconvenience might be something like, yeah, I'm going to go shopping right now and I want to buy bread, but I didn't find it in this store. So, and that's an inconvenience because I was in the store and I was here looking for that thing, but I couldn't find it. So either you change for something else or you have to go and get it someplace else. See, and that is an inconvenience because the time that you, in your head, the time that you had for this thing is less and things like that. So it's kind of going to be kind of like, okay, so now I have to choose again and things like that. That might be an inconvenience, okay? That may not be life-threatening, but the threat may be life-threatening. So, this one will take a toll in your emotions if you have them frequently. Like, you are going to pay something, you can't. You're going to buy something, you can't. You are going to get water, you can't. You are going to get this, you can't. You are going to get that, you can't. And then you're going to feel kind of like you're hitting walls. Oh, hell. So that one is going to take a toll in your emotions. And also your resilience and stuff like that. So anyway, the second concept I created was EMOLOGIC. Now, this is a term that says emotion with logic, because the way that you are going to have to make decisions now is going to be by that. So I'm going to try to explain to you something. Number one, most people think that logic is one universal thing. Oh, hell no, it is not. Most people think that logic is like one way and it is universal. Hell no. And then most people think that emotions are like not necessarily going to be the same for everyone, whatever, they might be right. However, emotions is a middle ground for you to connect with other ones. Your logic may not be a middle ground to connect with other people. You can't connect with other people through logic, but you can connect with other people through emotion. And the reason is kind of simple. Try to imagine yourself right now in a library, and you are organizing all of the books that are in this library. Now, you have never ever organized books before. Now, if you did it before, of course you're going to know how the hell to do it. But if you have never done this before, organizing all the books, how the hell do you do it? See, there are several ways to do it. That means that there are several logical ways to organize the information. There are several ways in which you can organize the data. Some people will go kind of like, okay, I'm taking the books and then I'm doing by alphabet. So the first letter of the title, that's it. Others will be kind of like, oh no, I'm going to take the first letter of the author. So that's it. Other people will go kind of like, oh no, I'm going to organize them by subject. So nature here, money here, family here, whatever, like that. Other people will go like, oh no, I'm going to put them by color. The color of the cover. Other people will go kind of like, oh no, I'm going to put them by size. Big, small, smaller, bigger, thicker, and stuff like that, So all of them are logical. And all of them are completely different. The reason why our logic is different is because our logic is the one that allows us to create things. We can't create things if we're always looking at the same thing and looking the exact same thing. But if you look at an object and then somebody will see something entirely different than you, for whatever reason, then they can create something entirely different than you can. And then you can create two things out of one. But if you are always looking, all of us as humans, we're always looking at the same thing, the exact same way, then basically we will be stagnant and we will never get it. Because we will always be kind of like that. We are not going to be like, yeah. See? So logic is not the same as being efficient or, other concepts that are related to that. It's just the way that you will process information around you. That means that your logic is unique. There is no way that other people will have your logic for absolutely everything else, because that means that they have your brain. And that's just not happening. So the thing is that most people will make decisions based upon the emotional part. And then they will use logic to support that decision. See, logic is a tool of support. It is a tool for helping you create something. But the reason why you are creating something, or the reason why you are doing anything, is actually emotion. Emotion comes from the root E as in energy, motion as in energy in motion. That means that your whole point about moving, why you will move yourself, is actually not logic, but emotion. This is also why we are failing at saving the planet, we are failing at a hell of a lot of things, is because you don't make the connection between your emotion and your logic. You are using your logic as your emotion. That's not it. You're supposed to use your logic as a support, not as the main engine. The main engine is supposed to be your emotion. And also, this is why most preppers are, very good at what they do. They are feeling that they want to help. They are feeling that something is up and they want to be ready. They are feeling that we have a responsibility with other people, you know? This is what is moving everybody. However, the way that you go look at it is completely different. And this is why your preparation may be lacking several things, because you are probably doing this emotional process and you're going through logical steps. And that is not bad per se. It's just that every time that you do one step, you have to figure out how to connect it again with this one. Because otherwise it will stay still. You can't move it. Because logic per se, where do you see the word energy in here? See what I mean? The logic will stand it. It's kind of like you building a ladder. The logic is a ladder. But the one that goes up or down is the emotion, is you. If you are stuck there, it's because you went through the ladder, but you didn't go yourself. So you have the ladder, but you don't have the one that is going to use it. And the one that is going to use it is actually your emotion. If you feel completely desperate, you're not going to go through logic. There's no way. Because you will be kind of like, there is a ladder there, but I don't want to use it, or I am too tired and I don't care, or whatever, and then logic will be out of the window because your energy is either too low or too high or too unstable. And this is why a lot of prepper channels are telling you that you need to prepare mentally, but you also need to prepare emotionally, because your mind is not going to be able to cope when you are dealing with people that are suicidal, or when you are dealing with people that are taking a hell of a lot of drugs, or when you are dealing with your own family drama, or when you are dealing with your own emotions, as in, I feel lonely, I feel tired, I feel pissed, I feel useless, I feel good, I feel better, I feel I can take over the world, I can feel whatever, you know. So the reason why my channel is kind of long for every video and everything is because I try to tell you that your EDTIS are not going to be the same as everybody else's. Because the threats might be the same, but what you consider inconvenience is not going to be the same as somebody else's. Because your level of energy might also be affecting these. See, if you're in a very good mood and then you find yourself with 4 roadblocks that day, like I couldn't buy the bread, like, oh hell, I have no water in my house, and things like that, but you have high energy and you're okay, you will be kind of like, I'm alive, and you will be grateful and you will be okay. But if you're if your energy is low and then you're kind of like, my God, I couldn't buy the freaking bread, what the hell, and then you go crazy, your inconveniences are going to actually drain you even further. So the way that you look at things will influence a hell of a lot of things when you're in hard times. And the way that you deal with your emotions is going to affect your logic. Because logic will be out of the window and it will go to hell, literally. If you can't, find a way to manage, not even control, manage your emotions. Every time that you find yourself thinking, no, think about the M. This is manage. There is no, in the word emotion, there is no C for control. There is just M for management. And when something is moving, all you can do is manage. You may be able to steer it or to put it someplace else or whatever, but all you can do is manage it. Because it's kind of like electricity. You're not going to be able to control it. Oh, hell no. For all I know, that electricity can cause a fire around you. Or it can kill you, literally. So you need to be able to find yourself a way to manage your emotions. And this channel is, when I have a reproduction list on my EDTIS, I go like, okay, I had this drama and this is how I deal with this. I am facing this and this is how I deal with this. The logical step is this, but I did it the opposite way. And the emotional part went like this because other people went like that. Yeah, kind of like that. So my EDTIS reproduction is about that one. My process for the whole videos that I am doing, for example, in the bathrooms or the food or other things, is EMOLOGIC. First, I gotta connect with the emotion. Because if you do it by logic, your logic may be completely different for somebody else's. And here's the deal, when you're forcing somebody else's logic on you and you don't get it, if you're going to use that tool, you're not going to be able to do it. Let's say that you are organizing the books, okay? You are organizing the books. So you did a YouTube search, as in how the hell to organize the books. So you organize the books by, by color, okay? Because that is how the YouTube channel did it. And then one day you forget. It has been, God knows how long it was the last time that you went to your library. Because, you forgot. And now you are looking for a book and you can't find it. Why? Because the way that you remember the information for the book, it was not the color. So you have everything organized in color and it's pretty and it's working and it is okay and in theory it should work. But when you're looking for the book, 2 years later because you forgot or whatever, now you cannot find it. Because you went by color instead of by looking at your own logic. So how the hell do you come up with your own logic? You do this by doing a search in several, let's say that you're doing preparations for everything, So you do this by seeing several preppers, several that are different. Each prepper will be different. Some of them will have backgrounds in military. Others will be civilians. Others will be just housewives. And they are entirely different. So they will tell you, hey, we are organizing the books and I do it by color. Other will say, no, I do it by, size. And other will go, no, because if you're looking for a book, when you're finding it, you need to find the title of the book and maybe you remember the author. So you need to do it by letter. So, and then, but it will depend upon which one do you think fits best for you. Some people will remember the book by the color. Oh hell, I have especially kids. Kids will be kind of like, I want to see the blue book. Yeah. So you're kind of like, oh hell, I have 5 books that are blue. What the hell? So, at that point, you gotta understand that your logic, you might need to apply 2 or 3 types of logic because you are in a group. And your husband, because I'm a woman, your husband is not going to be, looking at this the same way that you do. Maybe you have a wife, and your wife is not going to look this thing the same way that you do. So maybe you will need to combine 2 kinds of logics to try to organize this thing. Problem, how the hell do you make your wife or your husband care about prepping and stuff like that if this is an interest of you and not them? Yeah, again, this is how you do it, emotional. Because you connect with them emotional. You either tell them, hey, I need help, please help me. Or you tell them, hey, I truly believe that this is going to happen, so please, understand that, do you not feel that something is happening? And then they will be kind of like, yes or no. And then you can kind of connect through that, But this is how you control your relationship with other people. by managing your emotions. Because, by the way, you can't control your relationship with other people. You can just walk away. Or you can choose to stay. If you choose to stay, you need to find a way to manage your emotions, and you might be able to tell the other person that they need to manage their emotions as well, because otherwise they will drain you. They will be pissed, and if they are pissed, they will be yelling or something, and that will drain you. Because like I said, we are energy in motion. We have never been logical. We are not logical beings. We just are not. The reason for that is because logic, like I said, is a tool. And as far as I can tell, we have free will, so therefore we are not a freaking tool. However, we have let that tool control us. And this is why you might have a hell of a lot of problems in hard times. Because most people will be with other people that not think like you or do things like you. They will be kind of like, you are stupid. Because, their logic of doing things is different than yours. Hell, for all I know, they might not have logic at all because they don't care. So, this is the concept that I try to teach throughout all of my videos. This is why my videos are, long. And for all I know, you might think of them as boring or whatever. And, I don't know. I just wanted to let you know that this concept is very important for you to understand, because if you don't get it, then your logic might actually be in your own way, because it is a tool. And every time that you have a tool and you misuse it or use it for something that it was not meant to do it might work, but it's not going to be the most efficient way to go about it. It's kind of like when you have a nail, you can use a rock to try to put it there, but you can also use a hammer. Or when you have a can and then you need to open it, and then you can use a can opener or you can use a knife. So this tool can help you a hell of a lot if you use it. But the thing is that you need to figure out what is your sense of logic. And this is where things are going to get really, really, really bad really fast. Because your logic will depend upon your skill. If you know how to do something, you will be very good at it, and then your logic will have a hell of a lot of support. It's like a ladder that now is stronger and is foldable, and you can take it everywhere, or it's better, or whatever. It's a better design. You upgraded your ladder. Every time that you get a skill and you have experience, you upgrade your ladder. And now you can go even higher. And you can do it more comfortable. Or you can do it more secure. And for all I know, you can share it with other people, which is what prepper channels are doing. They are sharing this information with other people because they have experience. Whoever has actual experience and they are telling you how to do things because they have actual experience, oh hell, then go ahead. Because they have experience. If you are doing everything with no experience, your ladder is going to be very thin. That means it can break. Because you're doing everything by a textbook. That's why, I keep telling you that I read a hell of a lot, but if I'm biased because, I have read about it, but I do not know. Because reading about something is not the same as you actually being there. Because the theory about something and the practice about something is completely different. And you will know this as soon as, you enter the workforce, or as soon as you are in a meeting or whatever, Reading about it can help you because it's a guide. But it is not a field thing. It's not a game. The game per se is your experience and your skill. And that you can share with everybody else. And you can do books, you can do a hell of a lot of things to do this logical part. But your skill level needs to be kind of like in the same as the person that you're talking about. See, when somebody, for example, is a prepper and he is from the military, they have knowledge of teamwork. You probably don't. They have knowledge of hierarchy. You probably don't. And for all I know, oh hell, I have seen a hell of a lot of people that do not have any idea what the hell that is. They have a sense of punctuality and being disciplined and constant and stuff like that. And for all I know, the rest of the planet doesn't have that. Because, I mean, come on, what the hell? We are not disciplined. Most people are not disciplined. Unless you are Japanese or something, then you're not disciplined. Most people will fail that one. But military people will always be kind of like disciplined. They will be like, this is like that. You have to be clean. You have to be organized. You have to be this. You have to be that. You have to. This is a skill. This is a thing that you may not have. So they are sharing their perspective, but they cannot give you their skill. Their skill is something that you cannot buy. You can try to get there by, process, but that cannot be bought. It's like when you are looking at a dress in a model, in a picture. You buy the dress, but when you try it on, you are not getting the model's, body. You're not getting the model's body. You are getting the dress. Same thing here. You are getting information, but you are not getting the freaking skill. And the skill, for that one, you need to practice. And for all I know, you might even need to talk to the prepper channels because you will be making mistakes. Like when I was sewing this thing, something is wrong because this went like that. And then the person that is actually experienced will tell you, yeah, you're using the wrong needle. Kind of like that, if it is a sewing channel thing. Same with guns. If the guy is military, they probably know a hell of a lot of guns, and they will tell you, hey, it's just this one, now I have a thing here and I'm bleeding because I was using the gun and I'm bleeding, and what the hell, whatever. And they will tell you, hey, it's because of this and you didn't do that, or you're not using it properly, or whatever, use this finger instead of that one. Things like that, because those things comes from experience. It's not just you, assuming that whatever they say will go because the experience is not attached in the video. However, if you have somebody that, will tell you step by step, why things will work and why will not, you might have a different perspective, because at that point you may be kind of like, oh my God, I can't do that because of this. Oh hell, then I'm taking this one out. I'm not trying it because, I'm not very good with my hands, or I'm not very good with this, or, or something, and I will try something else. You know what I mean? So anyway, I hope this information is useful, and I hope that now you know EDTIS and EMOLOGIC.